I spent the ensuing week collecting all the information I could on Wilbur Whately and the formless presences around Dunwich. I wrote letters and answered them, and as the summer drew on, I felt more and more that something ought to be done about the lurking terrors of the upper Miskatonic Valley and about the monstrous being known to the human world as Wilbur Whately.
They wait, patient and potent, for here shall they reign again.
The Dunwich Horror itself came between Lammas and the equinox in 1928.
Dr. Armitage, along with Professor Warren Rice and Dr. Francis Morgan, were among those privileged to witness its monstrous prologue.
Let me through, please. Let me through. I must get through. Now let me through here.
Armitage, over here.
Rice. Morgan, what's going on here? What are all these people doing here?
Good God, Armitage, how sound do you sleep anyway? They're here because of this scream. It must have woken Captain Arkham.
And all the campus.
That growling. Is it Ramses? What the devil is he doing in a library?
We think he's attacked some intruder. Look, this window's shattered. The intruder must have come in here, and Ramses followed him.
Good dog. Good dog.
Then the intruder must still be inside. Gentlemen, campus security seems to have the crowd under control. I'm afraid I really must suggest we enter the library and render Ramses such assistance as we can.
Us? Surely that's a job for the police.
Do you recall our conversations recently regarding the village of Dunwich and certain of its citizens, living and dead?
Yes.
Does it seem to you that there is an unusually large number of whippoorwills for this time of the year?
Well, yes, there does, but...
It seems to be coming from the small genealogical reading room.
Lord, what's that smell? I can barely breathe.
The switch, man. Turn on the switch. Oh.
Oh, my God.
It's got to be over 9 feet tall. What in God's name is it?
No blood. No blood at all. Just a beaded pool of greenish yellow ichor. Ramses has ripped off all the clothes and part of the skin. At least I think that's skin.
Partly human, at least partly human. Look at the hands and the head. That goatish, chinless face.
Ah. Good evening, Mr. Whately. Come to do some midnight reading, have you?
It's dissolving. The cursed thing is dissolving.
Notes. Take notes. Even we won't believe it if we don't have notes. Morgan!
My God, Armitage, notes on what? How can you describe a hellish nightmare?
Well, try, damn it. It's almost human above the waist.
Human? It's just as like a crocodile's hide. How can you say human? And its back is like a snake's, and below its waist...
It's not possible. It's pure fantasy.
Now take this out. Below its waist, the skin is covered with coarse black fur.
Oh, forget the fur, man. Are those tentacles protruding from its abdomen? There must be 20 of the damn thing.
Tentacles or something, covered with red sucking mouths and... on its hips.
Their eyes! Good Lord, their eyes on its hips! And a tail!
No, it's not a tail, it's a trunk.
Or a feeler or with a mouth or throat of some sort.
Well, it's madness, that's what it is.
Now be objective, man. For the sake of sanity. Now look, its legs are like some prehistoric dinosaurs, but the feet are...
Yes, the feet. Try to remain objective. There's no sane description for its feet. Not hooves or claws.
They're changing color. The tail and the tentacles are changing color.
Yes, the grayish green of the tentacles is deepening, and the tail or trunk or whatever is shimmering from purple to yellow, alternating with a sickly grayish-white between purple rings. It's blood.
Blood?
Well, there seems to be no genuine blood, or only a fetid, greenish-yellow ichor trickling along the floor.
The birds. The birds, they're all leaving. It's almost as if something was chasing them.
Aha. They didn't get him. They didn't get him. They're fleeing, Morgan. Fleeing from that which they had sought for prey.
A body. There's nothing left of it. Look, no bones, no skull, nothing.
Nothing. It seems Mr. Wilbur Whately took somewhat after his unknown father.
Wilbur Whately was dead. Or something that passed for dead.
An almost interminable manuscript in strange characters, written in a huge ledger and adjudged a sort of diary, presented a baffling puzzle when it was found on an old bureau which served as the deceased's desk.
It was sent to Dr. Armitage at Miskatonic University, together with a collection of strange books, for study and possible translation. No trace of the ancient gold with which Wilbur and old Whately had always paid their debts was ever discovered.
It was in the dark of September 9th, in Dunwich, that the horror broke loose.
About 7 o'clock, Luther Brown, the hired boy at George Corey's between Cold Spring Glen and the village, rushed frenziedly back from his morning trip to 10-acre Meadow with the cows.
Up far in the rut beyond the glen, Miss Corey. He's sudden been there. It smells like thunder, and in all the bushes and little trees is pushed back from the rut like it ain't a house been moved along of it. And that ain't the worst. Another day's prints in the rut, Miss Corey. Great round prints as big as barrelheads, all sunk down deep like an elephant had been along. Only there's a sight more than our 4 feet could make. I looked at 1 or 2 before I run, and I see every one was covered with lines spreading out from one place like as if big palm leaf hands, twice or 3 times as big as anything is, had been pounded down into the rut, and the smell was awful like what it is around Wizard Whately's old house.
You just sit there, Luther, and catch your breath. Ah, foolishness if then you ask me. Nearest place to Whately's is suspicious. Get to the bottom of this. You see it, now don't.
Yes?
Sally? Sally Sawyer? That you?
Oh, yes, Miss Corey. It be me. Mr. Bishop, here.
You do. My Luther done come in with some kind of silliness about strange doings near old Wizard Whately.
Oh, yes, Miss Corey, it be true. My boy Chauncey, he been up the hill towards Whately's, and he just come back a post, and I couldn't have talk for being scared. He says, old Whately's house is all blowed up.
What?
Yes, with timbers scattered around like there been dynamite inside. Only the bottom floor ain't through it, but it's all covered with a kind of tar-like stuff that smells awful and drips down off from the side onto the ground where the side timbers is blown away. And there's awful kind of marks in the yard, too. Great round marks, bigger than a hogshead, he said, and all sticky with stuff and middles. Where a great swath wider than a barn is matted down, and all the stone walls tumbled every which way wherever it goes.
Tain't possible, Sally. You know it ain't possible.
And he says he, Miss Corey, it's how he sought to look for Seth's cows, frightened as he was, and found him in the upper pasture by the devil's hop yard in an awful shape. Half of him is gone, clean gone, and I haven't him, his blood has been sucked out dry of blood. There was sores on him, like they've been on Whately's cattle ever since Lieutenant Black Brat was born. And Seth, he's gone out now to look at him, though I vow he won't care to get very nigh Wizard Whately's. Chauncey didn't look too careful to see where the big matted down swath led after it left the pasturage.